G'day. So, I'm just looking at Dante's epic poem Inferno and his levels of hell. You know, the Italian word inferno meaning hell. So, in overview, there are 9 circles of hell according to Dante's poem Inferno. And basically, he structured it on the philosophical teachings of the Greek philosopher Aristotle. So it's all basically in concentric circles. So, like a small circle at the center, which is the deepest part of hell, and then circles proceeding out, which become higher levels or less horrible levels, I suppose, for people who've committed less serious sins or offences. Gradual increase in wickedness, it says here, and culminating at the center of the earth with Satan himself held in bondage. He's saying here that basically anyone who was punished in hell ends up there for eternity. So it's not something you're going to get out of. And that each punishment is something that is befitting of kind of the crimes or the sins that you committed while you're here in this life. But it talks about this concept of contrapasso, which is an Italian concept. So the idea of this is that you sort of get back what you've done to other people in a poetic form of justice. Everything is kind of reversed against you. So if you went around hitting people on the back of the head or something, then according to Dante, you're going to end up getting constantly hit on the back of the head when you're in hell. Another example he gives here is talking about fortune tellers, which are people who went around looking at the future. Dante just describes their punishment as being having to walk around with their heads on backwards. So they can't see the future, they have to see the past all the time. So yeah, it's this kind of very much turning of the tables, and in a very literal sense, that you end up punished in a way that just absolutely fits your crime. Yeah, so not a good place, obviously. And as I say, structured on the ideas of Aristotle's philosophical teachings, with certain aspects of Christianity thrown in there. So, basically just having a bit of an overview of some of the circles or levels of it. He starts off with, in the proper levels of hell, we start off with basically incontinence, which is here the idea is people who didn't have any self-control. They were open to their desires, pretty much the concept of what's referred to as wantonness. So if they wanted something, they didn't turn away from it. They just did whatever they wanted, basically. So that's kind of in the first circle of it. Then you've got people who are committing violent offences, so violence and also bestiality, which is more of a sexual type of thing. Then you've got heading down to sinning that relates to fraud and malice, so not a good thing, for people out there that are committing fraud against other people. Some people might think, a violent offence is more serious than fraud, but when you think about it, if you committed a violent offence, against a person or persons, you're obviously going to affect them in a certain way. But if you're committing fraud against a lot of people or something, you're setting yourself up like a vampire, effectively.